Good evening, everyone. This is your evening news recap, your nightly news podcast on all the news that I come across throughout the day, giving you my take as somebody who aspires to be a politician in the near future. Hopefully, all you guys are doing wonderful. Hopefully, all you guys are doing well. Today is September 13th, and it is also Saturday, I believe. So, hopefully, all you guys are having a wonderful weekend so far. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. We are on our way to 500 subscribers on YouTube, and all the support would be greatly appreciated as I'd like to get there hopefully before the end of the year. Outside of that, though, hopefully all you guys are doing well. It's been a pretty interesting day in the news world, so let's get into it. Moving on into the Trump administration segment, as we do, the first topic we have today is Trump plans to send the National Guard to Chicago. In an interview with Fox and Friends on Friday morning, Trump said that he no longer plans to send the National Guard to Chicago, but instead to Memphis, Tennessee. This is a shocking turn, as it looks like the administration would push for this alongside Operation Midway Blitz in Chicago, but that seemingly no longer is the case, which is a huge win for the city and the state. Trump said during an interview, "I'll be the first to say it now, we're going to Memphis. I would have preferred going to Chicago." This is great news for Chicago, not so great for Memphis, of course, but they actually do have quite a bit of crime in Memphis. It was one of the highest crime cities within the United States. So hopefully they, actually do their job there and work on the crime and murders. I mean, last year they had 400 murders within the city. So, hopefully they can actually bring that down if that's their actual goal. But we'll just have to see. The morale with the National Guard right now is not very high from what we've been able to hear. Well, as always, we'll have to see. In other news, Pete Hegseth is ordering staff to punish military members for making fun of Charlie Kirk. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is warning civilian and military employees that the Pentagon is tracking any comments that celebrate or mock the death of Charlie Kirk. Hegseth wrote on Twitter, "We are tracking all of these very closely and will address immediately, completely unacceptable." Whatever happened to freedom of speech? I'm sure the military does have some level of rules when it comes to that, but he is literally a podcaster, dog. It's not like he is a senator or a representative or the president of the United States. He is a literal podcaster. There is no reason for him to get the amount of glaze that he does day after day. Like, genuinely, there is no reason. He is not that important. I truly cannot wait for this entire situation to die down. But unfortunately, we have, I believe, one more topic. Okay, we're good. We have one more topic to talk about relating to that, as at least 12 teachers face discipline for Charlie Kirk-related comments. Educators across the country are facing termination. I don't know why I struggled to say that word. Or discipline after sharing opinions on Charlie Kirk's death on social media. At least 12 faculty, staff from school board to teachers have been fired by school boards and universities across the country for their comments. Many others are being suspended or put on investigation by their schools, and that number is likely to go up over the next few weeks. Again, what happened to freedom of speech, truly? Granted, teachers aren't allowed to say their political opinions, but that's only like in the public or on public media profiles. Most adults and teachers that I know have private accounts on all social media, or private accounts on Instagram, or private accounts on really everything. Most adults do. I have a private account on pretty much everything. Like, most people have a private account. It is really a full breach of freedom of speech. To say that 10 times fast. If these teachers had private accounts, because teachers are allowed to say what they wish on a private profile or in a private setting, they just can't say it on a public profile or in a public setting. So if it's on private profiles, that's a big breach of freedom of speech right there. If it's on a public one, it's against the rules. But we don't really know the case there either way. In other news, the topic of the video is, as we move on to our other news segment, as a Fox News host has endorsed lethal injection for homeless people. Insane comments were made by Fox and Friends host Brian Kilmeade on September 10th as he advocated for killing mentally ill homeless people with lethal injection. He even suggested doing it involuntarily. Co-host Lawrence Jones was discussing the mental health crisis in the United States, calling to put people in mental institutions or jails, and claimed a lot of them don't want to take the program, saying that they shouldn't have a choice, that they should take the resources or be locked up in jail. This prompted Kilmide to add, or involuntarily lethal injection or something, just kill them. What the actual fuck? Involuntarily killing people for having a mental illness is absolutely fucking insane. The right talks about a lot about homeless people not wanting resources. It is a conversation I have had with people in my family on multiple occasions now. But I don't really think that's the case because of what I've learned from talking to many homeless people. A lot of them don't know that the resources available are around them. At least the ones I've talked to personally. I've talked to quite a few homeless people in my life. I make it my goal to try and help people in life, and that's one thing I have done on multiple occasions. A lot of them do not know what resources are available. And the fact that a Fox News host can say that he supports killing homeless people without their permission with lethal injection and nobody bats an eye is fucking insane. But if somebody says something about Charlie Kirk dying, everyone bats an eye. That's fucking insane. Genuinely, that is insane. And I know people really don't care what Fox News says anymore because it is a propaganda network that legally isn't allowed to call themselves news because of how many times they've lied. But it is genuinely fucking insane that we have a TV platform in this country saying shit like that. He should have been fired for that, yet he still has his job. That is insane. Teachers are being fired for comments on Charlie Kirk, but a Fox News host can say that he supports killing homeless people without their permission and doesn't lose his job. That is genuinely fucking insane. Anyways, in other news, moving on to our final topic for tonight, Russia has launched more drones, putting Poland and allies on high alert. Poland and ally aircraft has been deployed in a preventative operation because of a drone strike threats on neighboring Ukrainian areas. The Polish military's Operation Command said on Twitter that these actions are preventative in nature and were aimed at securing Poland's airspace and protecting Polish citizens. This is really interesting. I still doubt anything comes out of it, though. I don't think Putin is dumb enough to fight Europe. I mean, Europe would kick the shit out of Russia if they tried to fight him. I mean, imagine Russia, who is the third strongest country in the world at this point, going up against the United States, the strongest country in the world, of course. The UK, France, Germany, Poland's getting pretty up there. Sweden has a pretty good military, if I'm not mistaken. I believe Finland also has a pretty good military. So many countries within NATO have top of the line militaries. Russia is not beating that many countries with those great of militaries. A NATO force would beat the ever living shit out of Russia as long as China doesn't get involved. If they do, that's a different question. But a NATO force would absolutely beat the shit out of Russia. So I do not think we see Russia fighting NATO anytime soon at all, unless they're having a death wish. Outside of that, though, I hope you all enjoyed today's episode. It has definitely been a very interesting one in the news world. Outside of that, not much for me to say. I bought an air fryer today. That was pretty cool. I made some chicken strips and fries earlier this morning. It was $40. It was on sale at Walmart. So I said, fuck it. Why not? I'm going to buy an air fryer. So now I'm a proud owner of an air fryer. I think that's pretty cool. Outside of that, though, hopefully all you guys are doing well. If you're new here, please subscribe. We are on our way to 500 subscribers, as mentioned, and all the support would be greatly appreciated as we try to get there, hopefully by the end of the year. If you're on Substack, please also consider subscribing. All funds go to me. They help me pay for the things that I need to pay for in college, like food, like clothing, like all of that. But if not, you can always subscribe for free. Once again, I truly do appreciate all forms of support on this content. It means the world to me that so many of you continue to watch my videos day after day and continuously show support by dropping a comment, dropping a like, or sharing the video with your friends. So thank you everyone for watching this video, and I will see you all in the next one.